Can you imagine waking up one morning to find out that your most personal and sensitive information was available on the internet for the entire world to see? And we're not just talking about your social security number or your national insurance number, but your name, your telephone numbers, your address, even names of your siblings, and very personal information that you would probably have hoped would never have seen a database, let alone be exposed online. Well, that is the stark reality for almost 3 billion people in what is now being referred to as one of the most serious data breaches of all time. So in this video, a little bit about what the breach is and how it's happened, what the likely impacts and the aftermath is likely to be, and most importantly, what you can do about it. So this hack first came to light on the 8th of April 2024, where a threat actor known as US DoD advertised for sale a database for the tune of $3.5 million, reportedly to contain 2.9 billion records, 2.9 billion with a B, of different people from the United States, from UK, from Canada, and around the world. This was titled National Public Data. Now, National Public Data is a background checking service, so obviously it's going to contain lots of personal information so that they can run these background checks on individuals. And often information is said to be collected even without the individual's direct consent. However, it gets even worse than that, because earlier this month, August 2024, a copy of this database was said to be leaked online for free, with reportedly, and some people can nerd out on the numbers here, uncompressed file sizes amounting to 277 gigabytes worth of data contained within these files. Now, already some people are saying that they've had multiple alerts that their data has been compromised and found in a data breach online somewhere, sparking fear and panic across the globe because lots of people have had their data breached and leaked in this database. Bleeping Computer has reported some horrifying highlights which show as follows. It's allowed them to find parents, nearest siblings. They were able to identify someone's parents, even deceased relatives, uncles, aunts, cousins. And additionally, they say we can confirm that the database also contains information on individuals who are deceased. Some individuals have been deceased for nearly 2 decades. Now, the clear and obvious risk to all of this is that of identity theft and other fraud and phishing attacks, which is where people will use your personal information to obtain loans, take out accounts, and even try to impersonate you and access your bank accounts by using your personal information. Now, of course, the company has said that it is cooperating with law enforcement, reviewing affected records and trying to ascertain who has been affected, promising security improvements, etc. However, I am aware that they are already the subject of a class action lawsuit. But of course, there is likely to be many companies that try to take advantage of this situation because your data, believe it or not, is already bought and sold over and over again when you've consented for companies to collect your data, and you'll be familiar with the phrase where they share it with third parties. Very often they share it with third parties at a price. They will sell your information on to third parties. And so one of several measures that I strongly recommend that you implement today is to sign up with a partner of my channel here, which is Incogni, because many of these data brokers will collect all of this information from this data breach and they will sell it on over and over again, and it is likely to end up in the hands of more bad actors who are then in turn likely to try to impersonate you, take out loans in your name, try to access your bank accounts, and so on. But many of these data brokers are ordinarily acting legally, lawfully, because they collect data and they sell it on. But under data protection law, both here in the UK and in the USA, you can request and require all of these companies to delete your information from their databases if they've got hold of it. But of course, there's hundreds of them and you probably wouldn't know who they are or how to contact them. But that is where the service by Incogni comes in, because you sign up with Incogni and you instruct them to contact all of these data brokers to remove your information from their servers, and they do all of the work for you. You'll get access to a dashboard and it will provide you a list of these companies that they've contacted. I've used it myself and I've seen hundreds of these companies removing my data from their servers. Many of them I had no idea they would have any of my information on their servers, but by the by, I've seen them week after week removing my data from their servers without my knowledge, had been selling it on to other parties, but week by week they've been removing my data from their servers, all thanks to Incogni, which is a very simple, straightforward service. And of course, I get you a discount as they're a partner to my channel here with 60% off an annual plan. The link's in the description below. Again, you'll get a 30-day money-back guarantee if you change your mind. but the peace of mind knowing that they're going to help to protect you against all of this leaked data in case you are affected by requiring all these data brokers to remove it from their servers so that it doesn't spread further and wider than it already has. So again, that is the first of several measures that I strongly recommend you take today to protect your data. So sign up with Incogni at the link in the description below. Use my code for a 60% discount off an annual plan. And now the second thing that I'd strongly recommend you do is contact the credit reference agencies. And you can do this via websites such as Totally Money, or you can go directly to the credit reference agencies. Sign up with each of them to ensure that you get notifications of any hard or even soft searches against your name or your details. Because if a bad actor does get hold of your details and try to take out a loan in your name, that should flag up on your credit report, and you should be able to stop it before it gets any further. The third thing that I would strongly recommend that you do is that you review all of the security for the access to each of your bank accounts, your credit cards, your mortgages, your mobile phone companies, and all of that sort of stuff. Make sure you change the passwords, you activate two-factor authentication, and you make sure that the details are up to date, because some people haven't updated their address, for example, when they've moved address and it still has their old details. For some people, it might have an old phone number, an old email address. Each of these are a weak point, and indeed, if you don't have things like two-factor authentication turned on, those are a weak point as well. So check out all of those things, make sure the security is all up to date, and by doing all of those things, it's going to help to protect you against the risks associated with your data being leaked online. And so I know on the one hand that lots of people don't like companies having their data, but in this day and age, it's somewhat necessary for these companies to have your information if you want to buy a house, take out a loan, take out a mortgage, have a mobile phone contract, all these sorts of things. But just as I've most recently very frustratingly said, most websites ask you by a pop-up whether you accept their cookies and collecting your data and so on. They are collecting all sorts of information about you, not just your details, but where you are and what your browsing habits are, what you search for, and all sorts of other personal information that you would really rather they didn't know. But all of this ends up in databases and ends up being sold on. So all of the things that I've mentioned in this video, I wholeheartedly recommend that you do just to protect your personal information. So once again, consider subscribing with Incogni with the discount in the description below. Make sure you sign up with your credit providers to monitor your credit report for any hard searches. Make sure you contact all of your banks and make sure the security and the passwords are up to date and secure, such as two-factor authentication, etc. It will only take you a few minutes to do it, but it will save you a lot of heartache further down the road. So please do that. I urge you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.